Hi, Tom from bknutrition.com, and today I want to talk about the carrot and stick mentality when it comes to building habits or getting tasks done or sticking to your diet or getting a good workout in. Now, the carrot and the stick approach is the cost plus the benefit, or the punishment versus the benefit approach. And you might have heard this applied to sometimes you need to push people, sometimes you need to entice them, but we want to think about how we can use that to our own advantage when we're trying to get some positive things done in our life. Now, if you have trouble building habits or trouble motivating yourself to do things, especially jobs that you don't really like, this might be a good way for you to think about your approach to those jobs. Now, I've used this technique myself in terms of getting to the gym, doing cardio, sticking to my diet a lot of the time, although now I tend to have a flexible dieting approach, which is what I teach. But when I was dieting for bodybuilding shows, when I was very restricted, I used this technique. I've also applied it in my working life so that I can make sure I get some of the jobs done that maybe I don't really want to and I want to put off. But if you put them off, they're always just going to get more and more in the front of your mind and stress you out. So it is a way of potentially leaving certain stress as well. Now, the mentality that I encourage clients to do, and they're using this carrot and stick mentality, is that when you approach a job, sometimes that job, be it doing cardio at the gym, eating a certain food, eating a certain meal, doing a task at work, sometimes we approach that task with, oh, I have to get this done because if I don't, this negative thing will happen. So I have to get that report finished, otherwise my boss is going to shout at me. I have to do my cardio, otherwise I'll get fat. I have to eat this meal, otherwise I'm not sticking to my diet. I have to get that prospectus off to that client because I set myself a deadline. All these things, but you're thinking in the negative term about the consequence of your actions or not doing that action. So when we think about the consequence of not doing the action, what it actually does, it reinforces in our brain the impetus not to do it. There's this sort of self-destructive thing that happens where we don't actually want to do that thing because we don't want to be pushed into doing something which is not something we actually want to do. So none of us like doing cardio. Well, if you're weird, you might like doing cardio, but none of us like doing cardio because it's perceived as a very taxing and very boring thing to do, and something potentially wasting time to. Yeah, I get that 100%. I always used to in my cardio days think about, oh, I'll do my cardio and I've got to do my cardio because I've got to lose weight and I've got to get ready for the show, that sort of thing. If I was to eat my diet, oh, I've got to eat my chicken and broccoli because if I don't, I won't get ready for the show, I won't be ripped to shreds, that sort of thing. And I was always thinking of the negative implication of not doing the action, which then sort of, it's the stick mentality pushed me into doing that action. And sometimes I wouldn't do it wholeheartedly, and I would sort of do enough just to get that thing done and just to get it the box ticked off my list so I can move on to something maybe more exciting. The problem is that when you do that, when you just do the minimum to get that done, so the minimum viable product, if you just to get that done, it always ends up coming back to bite you, because if you only do the minimum cardio that you need to do, if you only stick to your diet as much as you need to get the job done, what generally tends to happen, you don't leave yourself any wiggle room, and say if you miss a day, you've then got more to catch up. Certainly if you're dealing with clients, if you only do the minimum amount to get their diet to them, so I write diets for clients, if I only did the minimum diet to say, oh, there's your macros, just eat that, very quickly I'm going to get clients coming back to me saying, well, what about this? What about this? Do I need to this? And then I'm making more work for myself because I've not given them the full package. I've just said, oh, just eat that much protein, carbs and fats. But that's what a lot of coaches do. They do say to their clients, oh, here's just eat that much protein, carbs and fats. That might work for some people. My experience when dealing with people is you need to have a little bit more information of that. And if you've watched any of my videos on macros and stuff like that, you'll know that there's more that goes into it than just macros. So anyway, sorry, that's a bit of a tangent, but let's go back to the carrot and stick mentality. So rather than thinking of the negative consequences of your actions if you don't do something, think about the positive things you're going to get from doing that thing, and that will actually motivate you more to do that thing rather than being pushed into it. So an example, if I do my 40 minutes cardio, I'm going to look better tomorrow, and I'm going to enjoy doing it because I know that I've made that positive step towards getting the physique I want. That sounds more favourable to me than I've got to do my cardio, otherwise I'm not going to get shredded. Okay, I want to eat this meal because if I do, then I will get the body I want, and I can then go out and eat a pizza later on in the week because I've saved my calories by restricting myself more this day. That's a calorie banking technique that I use with clients, is that we restrict slightly in the week so they can have more on the weekend. It's called 5-2 dieting. So rather than saying, oh, you have to restrict more because otherwise you can't eat the pizza on the weekend, it's we restrict ourselves slightly more in the day, in the week, so that we can then enjoy a pizza on the weekend. It's the same thing, it's just looking at it from different perspectives. When I do my client diets, I say to myself, I will give the client all these other things so that they have the full information and that they don't have to come back to me because they know what they're doing straight from the off, and they have a more positive reaction to the product I've given to them, rather than, oh, I'll just give them these macros because that will tick the box, and then they know what they're doing. Because they normally don't. They come back and say, oh, what about this, what about this? So it saves you a lot of time, but also it can give you that more positive thing that you've done something positive and over and above the thing that maybe people are asking for. So when you're thinking about the jobs that you have to do, and you think about all these things, oh, I have to do those things in my life, think about, okay, what you're going to get, what the positive you're going to get from that. So report with the diet, with the report for the boss, I have to finish that report from the boss, otherwise he's going to have a go at me. I'll finish the report and I'll put in these other things to make sure that there's a full report so that it looks great, and I'm going to get a promotion. Okay, you might not get a promotion just from that report, but it might be something that the boss goes, oh, I didn't realize that was that, and that information is really helpful. He obviously knows what he's talking about. Maybe we should give him more money, more job. Okay, maybe bosses don't think like that, but the mentality is there. If you're making a positive impact, a positive step towards it, rather than, oh, I just want to be dragged kicking and screaming to make sure I've done it, you're going to feel better about yourself. You're going to feel better that you've performed something positive, you've done positive action, but also, here's the most important thing, the control is with you. If you are making that positive action, I am going to go and do my cardio now, because when I do my cardio, I'm going to feel better that I've made a positive step towards my physique, rather than, oh, I have to go back to the gym to do my cardio, otherwise I haven't done my cardio for the day. The one is you making a positive step and you're in control. The second is you're being pulled to do that action, and you have not got control. Something else is controlling you. So although you are still doing the cardio, the control there is with the diet. The diet is controlling you. You're not controlling the diet. And it's the same with your work and when dealing with clients and when you eat the diet and everything else. If the control is with you, I decide what I'm going to eat, not I won't eat that because if I don't, I won't be able to eat this. The control is with you. You're making the decision to do it, and you're making the decision to be positive, rather than you have to do something because if you don't, negative things will happen. It's a different mindset, but it's the same action. You just got to think about it differently. So bit of semantics there perhaps, but it is a way of thinking, a way of getting your mindset. And the more you actually have these positive frames of the things you're doing in your day, the more you will have a positive day, a more positive outlook on your day, because you're thinking, oh, hey, I've done that thing, that was good, that made this happen. Oh, I did this thing, that was good, that made this happen. It's all positive actions rather than, oh, yeah, I got that done. Oh, finally, now I can do something I want to do. That's all negative leading up to now I can do something I want to do. And if you're then going to do that positive thing and you haven't got the time to do it because of all these other things you've done, that's going to be a negative. Oh, I couldn't do as much of that as I wanted to do because of these other things. It's all a negative way of thinking. And I used to think like this. I used to be like this with my diet. Oh, I have to do my cardio, I have to do that. When I reframed it into, I'm going back to the gym to do my cardio because I want to look as good as I can on stage. When I started doing that, my cardio actually became very easy. And yeah, I did have a little bit of a snack before I went to do cardio as well, because I made the choice to do that. I didn't go faster because someone else told me to go doing faster cardio. I made those choices to make a more positive impact, and I got more out of doing it that way. I felt more positive about the whole thing. And people used to say to me, oh, you're on your diet, you look a bit, tired, look a bit gaunt and everything else. How are you feeling? I was like, yeah, I'm feeling good, because I've done all these things that are positive. Now, it wasn't every day I was feeling good, because I had low carbs and I was a bit tetchy and a bit nasty if you caught me at the wrong time. That's why I stopped doing contest dieting. I didn't like the person I was becoming when I was dieting. But you can't be positive all the time. But the more times you can influence yourself to be positive and have a positive outcome, the more you're going to have a positive outlook on life, and that's really important. I have a family now, I have 2 businesses to run. I have to have a positive outlook on my life. I don't want to be thinking all the negative things I have to do, because otherwise these negative consequences will happen. I think about the things I'm doing which are giving a positive outcome to my life, and that is then leading into me being a more happy person. And I suppose as you get older, that becomes more important, to actually enjoy the life. So hopefully this was helpful, and I hope you got something from it. Feel free to leave a comment below. Get in touch if you want me to do something else about mindset. I've got a whole load of topics I can do. I'll just do them as I think about them. And I hope this was helpful. If it was, please share, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks.